2025. Today is Friday, the 16th day of April 2021, and this is our first subject of today, social studies, and the topic under study is coast. We are looking at coast. So what is a coast? A coast is a piece of land that ends, like this is a land that moves and ends at the sea. This is a coast, a piece of land that ends at the sea or at the ocean is called a coast. A piece of land that ends at the sea or that ends at the ocean is called a coast. And while looking at the coast, we are going to look at other words like seashore. What is a seashore? A seashore is different from a coast in the sense that land, immediate land, which is being touched by the ocean or by the seawater is what we call the seashore. That immediate land that receives the battery of oceans or sea waves is what we call the seashore. So talking about seashore, we are going to look at two examples of seashore. The first example is the Canary, the Grand Canary, the Grand Canary. The Gran Canary seashore, the Gran Canary seashore in Spain. The Gran Canary seashore in Spain. How does it look like? It is a sandy seashore. A sandy seashore. Just a reminder, for you to know the different types of seashore, a seashore is either sandy, muddy, rocky, or made of pebbles. What do I mean here? A sandy seashore is that type of seashore that is made up of sand. A sandy seashore, just like the word sand, means that when you go to that seashore, what you are going to see there is sand. Muddy seashore, meaning that the seashore is made up of mud. Rocky seashore means that the seashore is covered with rocks. And the pebble seashore, pebbles are broken pieces of rocks that have been stratified. And when we hear of a pebble seashore, we mean that seashore that when you get there, you will see broken pieces of rocks. Okay, coming back to our first example of seashore, we are talking about the Gran Canary seashore in Spain. What type of seashore is it? It is a sandy seashore. And the sandy seashore we are talking about here, the Gran Canary seashore, has what is called sand dunes. Sand dunes. Since the seashore is made up of sand, the wind has blown the sand into little sort of mountains. These little sort of mountains are called dunes. The Gran Canary seashore found in Spain has hills of sand called sand dunes. These sand dunes are formed by wind. The wind blows the sand and use the sand to form mountain-like structure. These mountain-like structures are called sand dunes. We are going to look at the second example of our seashore, and this one is the southern England seashore. The southern England seashore. That is the second example of our seashore. This seashore is found in southern England. How is it like? It is made up of steep rock faces. Steep rock faces called cliffs. Steep rock faces called cliffs. What are cliffs? This southern England seashore, you must understand, is suffering from the battering of the sea waves of southern England. These battering sea waves have successfully removed the weaker rocks that covered the stronger rocks. When these weaker rocks are washed away, the surfaces or the faces of the stronger rocks that are hidden inside constitute what is called cliffs. So the cliffs are sharp rock faces that are exposed by sea waves when the weaker rocks have been washed away by the ocean water. So the southern England seashore has cliffs, and I have explained that these cliffs are sharp rock faces that have been exposed by waves. That is it about seashores. We want to look at our subheading, which is changing coastlines. Changing coastlines. The coastline, like I said, is almost like the seashore. The seashore is the immediate space that is here. The coastline is immediately this land that is touched by the ocean or the sea water. It is constantly changing. Why is it changing? Day and night, the ocean waves are battering, hitting hard on the coastline. As they are hitting hard, the weaker rocks are giving way and the stronger rocks stand. As they are giving way, you see that the coastal line will not have a smooth structure again. Maybe you see it opening inside, it starts digging inside and producing funny structures. Why is it producing these funny structures? Because the ocean water is beating on the banks of the coastline, removing the weaker rocks, leaving behind the stronger rocks, and changing the shape of the coastline. So the coastline keeps changing the shape of the coastline. The coastline is constantly changing. But when we talk of ocean waves, what are ocean waves? Ocean waves are like strong rivers. Let us say this is the ocean. You see strong rivers moving across the ocean and beating the banks of the coastline. These strong rivers that move across the ocean is what we refer to as ocean, as we refer to as waves. That is what we refer to as waves. So oceans too at times can create new land, can form new land. How do ocean form new land? Remember that the coastline is very large. So as the ocean is walking down this way, it is also walking up this way. As the ocean is walking, it beats the coastline, beats the rocks. In a forward and backward movement, it carries what is known as pebbles. I explained to you that pebbles are broken particles of rocks that are caused by the waves of the ocean or the seas. As the ocean is beating the coastal line, it breaks particles of rocks. And the backward and forward movement of the waves of the ocean makes these particles of rocks to further hit themselves into smaller particles. And these smaller particles will be carried by the moving waves of the ocean or the sea. If it carries them now and drops them somewhere, it will drop them somewhere on the coast. And as it is dropping them on the coastline, in many years to come, this place will be a new landform. As it continues to drop the particles of broken rocks and other materials that it carries from where the waves have disintegrated the material, they are going to accumulate somewhere and they will form a new land. This is what we have seen about coast, types of seashores, and how these seashores are classified based on the material that they are made of. The works of ocean waves, how the ocean waves are changing the coastline. Thank you very much. In brief, this is what we have learned in social studies today. As usual, there's a PDF page for you to get your notes and copy. But before I send that PDF page, the chalkboard picture was sent to you with the notes on it. As usual, this same PDF page will be made available down here at the gallery, hard copy, for those of you who cannot download it from your group. Please, the process continues. I will be hoping to see your lesson notes and the exercises that I have given you following this topic. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time. Remember, face-to-face classes are no longer here because of coronavirus. I miss you guys. We committed into prayers that we will soon come back to our normal classes. Thank you very much. Have a nice time.